Kitty, and today I'm going to be reviewing the 5th book in the Game of Thrones series, A Dance with Dragons. I don't know, for some reason I keep thinking Dances with Dragons, A Dance of Dragons, but anyway, the title is A Dance with Dragons. Anyway, so this details the stuff that happens at the same time as A Feast of Crows, but it's outside of King's Landing, like basically across the Narrow Sea, and in Marine and Bravos and stuff like that. So this details the things that happen to Tyrion and Daenerys, and it has R in there, and it has Jon and stuff like that. So I was so happy to start this book. Anyway, but because Daenerys is one of my favorite characters, though I was not really like her so much in this book. I was actually talking to somebody about this, someone who read all the books and so thus knows everything, and she always told her that Daenerys was one of my favorite characters, but she said she wasn't really feeling Daenerys towards the end of this book, and I did not want to ask why because I did not want to be spoiled. So I read it in the mail and I was like, okay, it's not so much what she does, it's so much as what she's not doing. But anyway, neither here nor there, we're moving along. So I enjoyed it. I actually kind of miss Cersei with her craziness. But anyway, so what's happening in the watch is that Jon is letting the wildlings through. Oh, and this also details the character of Reek, which if you watch the TV show you see more of, but when you're reading the book he does not make an appearance until this one. And then you find out, because before, if you only read the books you would think that Theon is dead, since after his ill-fated encounter with the Bastard of Bolton. But then when you get to this book you realize that his encounter with the Bastard of Bolton was very lengthy and he wound up missing a few limbs and stuff like that. But of course if you watch the TV show then you already know that. So he's thinking of himself as Reek. And I don't know, actually the Bastard of Bolton seems more bastardly than in here than on a TV show. On the TV show he just kind of like at people. In this book he's a bastard, seriously. But anyway, you're like, Theon escaped, even though you wasn't really liking Theon because he got into his head to take Winterfell and pretend to kill Bran and Rickon. So I was kind of like, he's got to go, but nobody deserves to be tortured like that. Anyway, especially not by that guy. Anyway, and R is in Bravos, and she turned in the iron coin and said the words that would get her the stuff that she needs. And so right now she's in the Hall of Black and White. I actually forgot what it's called, but it's some kind of church thingy. I have no idea. But anyway, she's learning basically how to like be more. Basically, she's kind of like upping her lessons with the Braavosi sellsword guy, and learning how to change her face, change how she sees things, and do more stuff. I guess basically become like that guy that she befriended, the one with the hair. I forgot his name. I think it started with a J. Sorry guys, it's been so long. Actually, this read about 200 pages in about 3 days. And then the day before yesterday, around Monday I think, I just blitzed and read it all mostly in one day, and then the last 100 pages I read it the next day. So yes, 1,000 pages read in one day. I love myself. Anyway, so I enjoyed it a lot. Some people die, or maybe they may not die, that I'm not sure if they died or not, but I really don't want them to die because they can't die. I will not say who it is because, I don't want you to go through the torture and torment, but I'm really hoping that they're not dead. Please don't do this to me. I will not say it for the girl. Anyway, so since it's stuff that happened at the same time as Peace of Crows. The characters from Peace of Crows, you don't really see them too more to the end. That's when the timelines merged again. And then you see Cersei gets her just desserts. I'm gonna stop that evil smell. You see her get her just desserts, and then you find out who's really behind the stuff that's happening in the Seven Kingdoms. Like, you know, who's controlling people's strings and stuff like that, which you kind of get a glimpse of in the other books, but in this book it really cements it, and you're like, oh, okay. And there's another Targaryen. I am not going to imagine what's going to happen, what George R. R. is possibly going to do with this other Targaryen, because our predictions have been known to be wrong. So I'm just gonna sit back, relax, watch the show, see what happens. You know, my money is that he dies. Okay, there. I made a prediction. He's probably gonna die. Anyway, but so. Oh, and Daenerys' dragons have been eating people and burning people, and you're like, oh my god, she needs to control those dragons. Anyway, I enjoyed it. It's the last book for a while. The next book he said we call Winds of Winter, because winter is no longer coming, it came. So it's gonna be called Winds of Winter. It's probably gonna be like this thick, and I can't wait. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life now that it's all over, and you know, season 4 is over, so I don't even have anything to watch. Oh, thank you more though for, you know, telling me about this series and getting me into it, even though I was like, no, I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. But thank you for getting me into the series. And you know, even though I told you I didn't really like books set in Wheatlandia, but this is different. This is good. It is not cliche. It actually made me realize how books follow a certain format. You're used to books following a certain format, and then when they change it, you're kind of thrown off, but in a good way, you're kind of thrown off, especially when it's done well. When you're kind of thrown off, I'm just like, it makes me want to be a better writer and not write in a cliche manner. Like, you know, of course, if this was a regular book, Edward would still be alive. Edward would actually probably be on his way to becoming king, or if he was going to be dead, then Rob would be on his way to becoming king instead of dead. And then John would have went back to Winterfell, and he would have been made a legitimate heir instead of a bastard and all this stuff, right? It would have been totally different, but I'm glad it's not. Yes, so be sure to check out Niko and Harm, Book 1 and Book 2 of the Outsider Chronicles, which is available on Amazon and Smashwords.com. Links to my books are down below. Bye.